Hi and welcome to Hardware Heaven. Today we are going to be taking a look around a GeForce GTX Titan Amp Edition by ZOTAC, which is basically the overclocked edition of the GTX Titan. So let's get right into today's video. So let's start off by taking a look around the box. As you can see, it's got 6 GB of GDDR5 memory, it's got PhysX, it's the Amp Edition, which is overclocked performance. You can SLI it, and it's DirectX 11. You can see with this box, it comes with Assassin's Creed 3 game pack, where you get Assassin's Creed 2, and Revelations. It comes with an extended warranty by ZOTAC, which is good to point out. Then on the back here, we can see some key features that they list as important things that you should note. It's got TXAA technology, GPU Boost 2.0, PhysX, FXAA, adapted vertical sync, surround, support for 4 concurrent displays, including 2 dual-link DVI, HDMI or DisplayPort. DirectX 11, as we said, it's got 3D vision, it's SLI ready, it's got CUDA technology, PCI Express 3.0 slots, OpenGL 4.3 support and OpenCL support. So let's take a look inside the box. The box itself by ZOTAC is designed awesomely. It looks kind of like carbon fibre, and I really like the way that it opens up. It says it's time to play, and you can see that your Titan is secure in there. Something that you would expect from a $1,000 graphics card. It's got to be safe, it's got to be secure. So let's take a look what we get inside and at the card itself. Okay, so inside the box itself, we get a few things that are quite interesting and useful. You get the Assassin's Creed 3 game pack. You get the driver installation DVD, it says, and there's also a ZOTAC sticker in there as well, if you can see that. You get information regarding ZOTAC Boost, a quick installation guide, a user's manual, a VGA to DVI port adapter, and some power supply cable extensions. So let's take a look at the card itself. NVIDIA actually provide the base design for the GTX Titan, and ZOTAC follow it. This basically means that we get an attractive looking card with a cooler shroud with plenty of metal to see. The GeForce GTX logo on top actually lights up green, just like the GTX 690, and looking at the back of the card, we can actually see 2 SLI slots. So that means that we can SLI these, which is really, really good to know. You can see these located here. That basically means, in theory, if you had a lot of money to throw around, you could have 3 GTX Titans in SLI. It's also worth noting that NVIDIA are actually offering a bundle worth £100 for in-game use in PlanetSide 2, World of Tanks and Hawking on some of their cards at the moment. So if you are looking at purchasing a card, bear in mind that the GTX Titan comes with 3 Assassin's Creed games and this bundle as well. So that is good to know if you're looking at getting some extra bonuses with your card. So let's take a look at the card itself close up so you can really get a feel of what it looks like and what you could expect from a Titan. This is a metal finish. I really am loving the screw detail in there. The fan here. We've then got a black PCB, which is great because sometimes odd looking PCBs or different colours do look a little bit off, especially if you are looking for a really sleek case. You've got a black inside finish and you're wanting something that fits in well. There we've got the GeForce GTX logo. Everything else is pretty much enclosed. There's nothing really on show. You can't really see much. Hopefully this one singular fan will be enough to cool the whole card. Normally you have quite open space which lets the fans bring that air out, but we have got exits on either side of the card so the air would get pushed through that way. So a lot of people may ask, what exactly is a GTX Titan? It's basically based on the GK110 GPU, the same family as the GTX 600 series, which uses the GK104 for the 660, 670, 680 and 690 parts. The GK110 was designed to offer massive amounts of computing power originally, and as a result has significantly higher specifications than those desktop parts, somewhat similar in fact to the 2 times GK104 combined. The key features here are the GPU Boost 2.0 is present on cards like the GTX 680 and is able to adjust the speed of that product depending on the operating conditions. Simply, that means increasing speed to maximize performance as long as the GPU remained under 170 watt power draw. With GTX Titan and GPU Boost 2.0, NVIDIA have moved to thermal-based readings and will boost the speed of the card to the highest possible level as long as the temperature remains below 80 degrees. Display overclocking. With GTX 600 series, NVIDIA introduced an adaptive V-Sync, a feature which allowed them to improve the gaming experience of those who found the standard high FPS with tearing or limited FPS. In normal circumstances, our monitors with V-Sync enabled limit frame rate to 60 FPS. That is regardless of performance the GPU could offer. With GTX Titan, we can attempt to overclock the screen, pushing the refresh rate and therefore frame rate higher. Just a note though, that is not supported by all monitors, so you should check that out if you are specifically looking for that in your GTX Titan. The GTX Titan is powered by one 6-pin and one 8-pin power inputs, providing 250 watts as standard and 256 watts via software unlock. Then at the card outputs, we find a dual DVI, a HDMI 1.4 and DisplayPort connectors. The GTX Titan is capable of running 4 screens at one time, with 3 available for surround gaming at resolutions such as 5760 x 1080, and the 4th running off a separate controller for desktop applications such as messaging. The reference specifications for the 28nm GeForce GTX Titan are 836 MHz core base clock with a boost clock of 876 MHz, and the 6GB of GDDR5 memory is set to 1502 MHz. ZOTAC bumped that up to 902 MHz base and 954 MHz boost, with memory at 1652 MHz. There are 224 texture units within the core along with 48 ROPs, 5 graphic processing clusters and 14 streaming multi-core processors. For the CUDA cores, NVIDIA have gone with 2688 core design, and our memory bus is 384-bit. PCIe 3.0, DirectX 11.1 and Direct Compute are all supported on this card. Now you've seen the card itself, what it looks like, and we've gone into the specifications and the key features, let's compare it to some other cards and look at some graphs. Before we go into the graph section of this preview, I want to announce that we are actually giving away this ZOTAC GeForce GTX Titan Amp Edition. So make sure to check the Hardware Heaven website for more information regarding the competition and how you can win. I also want to mention that we do have some 5760 by 1080 tests in the main article, as well as some more graphs and results. So go check that out. I'll put a link in the description so you can have a look at that. So let's go into the graphs that we've got for you in this video. First off, let's start with the 3D Mark Firestrike Extreme Performance Test. Now we've got a few different graphics cards here that we can compare the results of. So first of all, we've got the GTX Titan Amp Edition, which got a score of 5070. The GeForce GTX Titan got 4609. The Radeon HD 7990 got 5941. And the GeForce GTX 690 got 5485. We take a look at BioShock Infinite on 1920 by 1080. The GTX Titan Amp Edition got an average of 126 FPS, a max of 212 and a minimum of 52. The AMD Radeon HD 7990 got an average of 186, max of 327 and minimum of 44. And the GTX 690 got an average of 175, maximum of 275 and minimum of 49. In Crysis 3, we can see the Amp Edition got an average of 61, max of 87 and minimum of 43. The 7990 got an average of 63, max of 74 and minimum of 45. And the 690 got an average of 62, max of 71 and minimum of 45. For Tomb Raider, we can see that the AMP Edition Titan got an average of 123, max of 157, a minimum of 85. The 7970 got an average of 180, max of 268, minimum of 126, whereas the 690 got an average of 172, max of 244, a minimum of 122. Now here is a power and temperature graph, and what you can see here is that the Titan uses less power when gaming. That's the benefit of just having one GPU to power rather than two. It sits at 80 degrees quite happily, and then we can overclock it and we can see the temperature limit up to 94 degrees with a manual overclock of 116 GPU and 125 MHz memory over the ZOTAC settings. This gives us an increase of nearly 500 points in 3D Mark. And here we've got the game changer, Assassin's Creed 3. The Titan has got an average of 95, max of 144, a minimum of 66, whereas the Radeon HD 7990 only has an average of 57, max of 84, a minimum of 42, and then the 690 follows with 112 average, 158 max, a minimum of 85. The reason we are seeing these results is basically AMD can't get the two GPUs in 7990 working in Crossfire, so it only gets half the performance it should and won't run at all on 3 screens. Titan being one GPU gets full performance all the time, and that's one of the reasons why people really should favour the GTX Titan over the 7990. In summary, Titan will always give max performance, whereas the other two cards are great most of the time. However, when the drivers aren't perfect, there are performance drops. So if you're wanting something that gives you an overall great performance, then the Titan ZOTAC Amped Up Edition is definitely something to consider. The Titan also runs at lower power than the 7990 and is also the smallest card out of the three, which gives users a better selection on cases and sizes when wanting to build their own PCs. AMD do, however, have a great game bundle with the 7990, which does tip the value scale a great amount. However, we would much prefer a fast single GPU model than a dual GPU product. So because of this, we are awarding it the Diamond Award. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out the full comprehensive written review, and I'll link that in the section below. Also, regarding the competition, you've got to do a few simple things like subscribing to this YouTube channel, liking the ZOTAC Facebook page, and filling in a quick form on the Hardware Heaven website. If you do those 3 things, then you can be in the running to win the ZOTAC Amp Up Edition Titan that we have looked at in today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!